My name is Najla Zaidi. I'm a screenwriter and director, and I earned an MFA in screenwriting from UCLA. And after that, there's a special directing program at AFI, the American Film Institute, called the Directing Workshop for Women. So I was a member of that, and that's where I made the first film, which opened at the ECU, which was called A Christmas Tree. I was invited to speak on a panel, a screenwriting panel with the Writers Guild and with, it was a film festival in Utah. And so while I was on the panel, it was really funny. I was on the panel and I said, you know what? This year I'm going to make my first film. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to do it this year. And it was during Sundance, but it was Slam Dance Film Festival, it was the panel. And so I was saying that on the panel, and while I was there, I met people from AFI, and they said, why don't you apply to our program? And it ended up that I applied late, but they allowed me to apply. I wrote the script for The Christmas Tree over the weekend and turned it in Monday morning, and I ended up getting it. And so that's what the support I had for the first film. And I was thinking, what could I do? And so I remembered, so the Christmas tree is basically what happened to me in the 5th grade. So we were the only Muslim family growing up in Kansas in the Midwest, which was predominantly it's in the Bible Belt. But we had, my aunt was American when we came to America, so I had a strong Christian influence also. And what I always wanted was a Christmas tree. And my parents would put lights up. We would celebrate Christmas, but they would not allow the tree. So it was just kind of like in the 5th grade, I asked my teacher, we had a classroom Christmas tree, and I wanted the tree. And so I said, can I bring the tree home? And my teacher said, is it okay with your parents? And I totally lied, and I go, yeah, sure. And I literally dragged the tree home, 6-7 blocks from school, and brought it home. And my dad was so mad. But then, in the movie, I had the dad throw the tree away, but my dad actually never did that. And he let us keep the tree. But then again, we didn't get a tree again until I was 22 years old. And at that time, he finally gave up. So I thought this is something that I could share with the world that would be something that actually happened to me, but write it more fictionally. And, just take some things that were different, change a few things, and I could do it as a short. I do, because so I had studied French since the 7th grade in school here and all through college, and I'd never gotten to go to Paris. And so I remember it was very funny because I was really sick at the time, but I was like, I have to go to see my first film, in Paris. I'm really excited. So me and my brother, who was actually one of the producers on the film, I went to Paris first, and then he came a few days later. So the day of the screening, we were sitting in the Paris library because that's where it was. And as we walked over, we said, we have time, let's eat before we go see my screening. So we walk over and look, and we saw that there were little booths with TV. My film was going to screen on a little TV. So then we went back and sat down to eat, and my brother was so worried I'm going to cry. And then he was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And I started laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing that I came all the way to Paris to see my film on a little TV. And so when it was time to screen, we were standing by the TV, and a lady came, and she goes, no, madame, you're here. So we went in the back, and it was a big, beautiful theater. So it was really exciting, and ended up being a wonderful experience. And my actress, Tessa Vaughn, she was nominated for Best Actress and we had a short film, but it was against a feature. So I was very proud of that. So it was a beautiful experience. But it ended up being just talking to the filmmakers, seeing the international films, it was just amazing. And just, what I love about filmmakers and filmmaking in general, from what I've seen, people are very supportive of each other. It's not cutthroat, it's like people would think at all. We were all excited for each other, and we were all going to each other's screening. But it was just a really friendly, warm environment. And I loved the variety. In the group I was in, there were French films, there were French, films from, I think I was the only U.S. film. But then there were films from other countries I thought was fabulous. Like it had everyone. So since then, I did other shorts. I did a music documentary featuring like one of the biggest guitar bass players in the whole country. So his name is Peter DeStefano. He was with Porno for Pyros punk rock band. So I did a music documentary with him and other shorts, and then I did some commercials and some public service announcements. And I've always been writing, so I've done a lot of writer for hire work. And I actually just consulted on a film called Barrier that has already won awards in 2 Italian festivals and in India. So I was basically a script doctor for them. And I'm always writing. Currently, I have 2 scripts that are out that, with producers. So one producer possibly will hire me to write another script for him, and the other one may, do this feature. And so and then I'm also like working on a book, because a long time ago when I was in film school, my professor told me to write a book first, and then you own the rights to everything, and then put it into a screenplay. So I've had this idea for like a series of books, kind of in the grain of like Harry Potter. And I've had, this idea for a long time. So I've been outlining that. So either I'm going to write a screenplay next, or I'm going to write a book next. But I just finished a TV project, so I'm just in a period of I always give myself a break, like a few weeks in between. But I'm always working, because it's kind of like I've realized that the art always saves me. And even if it doesn't get made, it doesn't matter. Like it used to be, I would have so much anxiety of this has to get made. I have to sell this. And I don't do that anymore, because I've realized I've kind of let go and let the universe handle it. And it's been so much better. Like my work has gotten so much better as a result, because I think it's the art itself. But it's like I do it because it's part of my soul. It's not something I can ever quit. Like I'll think, I'm not going to write again, and forget it. And this, business sucks and I don't like it. And then I'll be doing dishes and I get an idea for the next. But I haven't directed in a while. I would like to direct a feature next. And, one of my scripts, I have a really amazing script that's set in 17th century India that I would love to direct, but it's a huge budget. So that is going to be I know my Peace de la Resistance project, but I'm just open to see what comes next. You know what? Don't give up. And there's so much rejection that you because I'm a very sensitive person, and I think most artists are by nature, because we're artists, we're going to be sensitive. So every rejection, just don't worry about it. I truly believe, it used to be I felt like, oh God, there's so much competition, and there's not going to be, if this person gets something, I'm not going to get it. That's not the case at all. The universe is so abundant. There's a place for all of us. There's a place for all of our work. So if you don't get XYZ, I have a person in the television industry who's been working for the last few months to get me on a TV show. The last few years, I keep getting right about to get it and it doesn't happen. Right about to get it and it doesn't happen. And then I realized, just let it go. The right thing will absolutely come to you. And don't give up, and don't let the rejection hurt your soul. You're an artist. You're going to keep making your things, and the right thing for you will come. And keep directing new stuff, keep acting, and take risks, right? Or direct or act whatever the hell you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. You decide yourself. So I have my own website, najlazaidi.com. You can see my reel on there, and then on YouTube, and then on Vimeo, you can see my films. But there's also films on AFI has a special thing for their graduates, and you can see all of the AFI films on there as well.